Acharya Thakur.
Kahamoram Sarupam Kaha Sanata Kaha
Kahamura Sarupam. Kaha Sanata.
Kaha Das Raguna Kapatita Pava Kaha
Kahamura Sarupam. Kaha Sanata.
Kahamoram Bhattaya Kavira
कहाँ मोरा बता जुगा कहाँ कबीरा
Kakali Kutangela Gora Tara
कहाँ मोरा बता जुगा कहाँ कबीरा
Pasane Kutivo Matang Anani Pashibo
कहाँ कहाँ you missed one.
Goranga Kodagele Pabo Gorang Gunina Nide Kodagele Pabo Se Saba Sangira Sange Nikolo Ila Se Saba Sangira Sange Nikolo Vila Se Sangana Paya Kande Narota Buddha
Sesaba Sangira Sange Je Koilo Bila
Jayo Vaishnav Thakur, Jayo Vaishnav Thakur, Vaishnav Thakur, Jayo Vaishnav Thakur,
Jayo Vaishnav Thakur Jayo Vaishnav Thakur Vaishnav Thakur Jayo Vaishnav Thakur
Goswami, Lokanath Goswami, Lokanath Goswami, Lokanath Goswami,
Jayo Loknath Goswami Jayo Loknath Goswami Loknath Goswami Jaya
Prabhupada,
Loknath Goswami
Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada,
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada
Prabhupada,
Prabhupada
Prabhupada,
Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada
Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya, Gurudev, Jaya
Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya
Guru
Jaya Gurudev
God, Shri Lokanath Goswami ki,
Jai
Prabhupada ki, Shri
Jai
Gurudev ki jai,
Jai
Shri Radha Golakananda ki jai.
Jai
Is it Golokananda, Gokulananda?
Golokananda
Golokananda, sorry. Shri Shri Radha Govind Madhav ki jai,
Jai
Shri Go Nitai ki jai,
Jai.
Guru Parampara ki jai.
Jai.
Shrimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Jai.
Sadhu Sangha ki jai.
Jai.
So let's sing this Krishna Lila Stava. You want me to share it or you have it?
No, I don't have it.
Okay, so let me share. Share. Voilà. Sarva Shastrabdi Piyush Sarva Vedika Sakal Sarva Siddhant Ratnadia Sarva Loke Kadrik Pradan. O Shrimad Bhagavatam, O nectar churn from the ocean of all the Vedic scriptures, O most prominent transcendental fruit of all the Vedas, O you are enriched with the jewels of all spiritual philosophical conclusions. O you grant spiritual vision to all the people of the world.
Sarva Bhagavata Prana, Srimad Bhagavata Prabhu, Kali Dvanto Dita Ditya, Shri Krishna Parivartita. O life breath of the Vaishnava devotees, O Lord, you are the sun which has arisen to dispel the darkness of Kali Yuga. You are actually Lord Krishna who has returned among us.
Paramanand Pataya Prem Vakshaksharayate Savada Sava Sevyaya Shri Krishnaya Namostume. O Shrimad Bhagavatam, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you by reading you one attains transcendental bliss. For your syllables reign pure love of God upon the reader. You are always to be served by everyone, for you are an incarnation of Lord Krishna.
Mad Eka Bandhu Mad Sangin Mad Guru Mad Mahadana Mad Nishtaraka Mad Bhagya Mad Ananda Namostute. O Srimad Bhagavatam, O my only friend, O my companion, O my teacher, my great wealth, O my deliverer, O my good fortune, O my bliss, I offer respectful obeisances unto you.
Asadu sadutada yinnatine chochataraka namusha. Dachinmam prem narit kantayo sura. O Shrimad Bhagavatam, O giver of saintliness to the unsaintly, O uplifter of the very fallen, please don't ever leave me. Please become manifest upon my heart and my throat, accompanied by pure love of Krishna. Jai. Shrimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Sanatana Goswami ki jai. So, Om Namo Bhagavate
Oh,
Vasudevaya.
yeah.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Oh, Namo.
Vasudevaya. Om Agyantimidam Dashya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshu Militam Yena Tashmae Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Anubhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupam Kadamayam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Sa Shri Rupa Sagrajatam Sahagana Ragunatam Vitam Tam Samjivam Tadvaitam Savadvitam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitam Sha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Rupesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Saptakanshane Gurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Ishabanu Sute Devi Panamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Tarubhyasha Kripa Sindhubhya Vacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadada Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare Hare. Welcome.
Thank you.
So last time we briefly entered within the 8th chapter. Do you have any recollection? If you want to even touch upon the end of the 7th chapter, it's fine with me.
No, with this chapter 7, 8, I'm more comfortable listening and learning because they're very new to me. I never read these chapters before in my life.
Actually, Srila Prabhupada did say the second canto is the most complicated. He told Jaita Maharaj. So, without going quite far back, the very end of the 7th chapter is a summary, especially starting from 50 onwards. It is a summary of 3 chapters, chapter 5, 6, 7, where basically the Lord, Brahma explained that Achintya Bed Abed Tatwa. You understand this philosophy?
Yeah, different, simultaneously one and different at this. Yeah.
Yeah. So on one side, we hear Narad telling 1.5.20, Idam ivishvam bhagavan ivetaro. Narad himself is acknowledging that Lord Krishna is himself the cosmos. But at the same time, he's aloof. So this is always the philosophy we have to keep in mind. We cannot use this philosophy 80% and left 20% undone. We have to use it always wholeheartedly. You cannot break it down. So back to 2550, this is what we hear. Is non-different, but is indifferent also. You follow? In other words, it's like Aishvarya Gyan that you find in the Gita. What is the same section dealing with that Tatwa in the Gita? There's a section, I don't know if you remember. This is a section dealing with Achintya Bed Abed Tatwa. We find that a lot in the Gita. There's a section dealing with, it's called Aishvarya Gyan Tatwa. 9.4. Maya tatamidam savam jagaravakta murtina matstani savabhutani nachaham tejavashtita. So this is the beginning, 9.4. Krishna explained that by me, when he say by me, it means by my avyakta murtina, my murti avyakta, my unmanifested murti. I pervade everything. All beings are in me, but I'm not in them. Okay, so 9-4 would be the postulate that Krishna is not there. Okay, he's taking that stand.
9-4 in Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah. And now, if you listen to 9-5, Krishna is going to contradict himself. This is quite spectacular. Nachamam stani bhutani pashyame yogameshwaram. Bhutabrinna cha bhutastu mamatma bhutabhavanaha. He just mentioned in 9-4 that he's not there. Everyone is in him, but he's not there. He's there in his Avyakta Murti. And then in 9-5, he contradicts himself totally. Yet everything that is created doesn't rest in me. He just mentioned in 9-4, everything, everyone is in me. And then he goes, Pashya me yogameshwaram. Pashya means to see, behold my mystic opulences, Arjuna. Bhutabrinna cha bhutasto, I maintain everyone. I'm everywhere. And he goes, I'm not a part of this cosmos. See? I'm not a part of this cosmos. So now in 9-4, he's saying, everyone is in me, and I'm just there in my Avyakta Murti now. In 9-5, he goes even, he's totally contradicting himself. He said, I'm not even a part of this cosmos. For myself is the very source of creation. So you can see Krishna is getting quite mystical here. And then he gives an example in 9-6. Yatakash tito nityam vaya savatrago mahan tata savani
Ita
bhutani
sarvani bhutani matstaniti upadharaya.
Please recite the verse.
Recite the verse. Yatha kasha
No, you can read the English.
Understand that as the mighty wind blowing everywhere rests always in the sky, all created beings rest in me.
Yeah, so it is an example. I don't know if you understand this example. In other words, the wind is blowing freely and wholly, but still within the confines of the sky. You cannot expect the wind to blow outside the confines of the sky. One Mataji long back, I forgot the name, she gave a beautiful example. It's like an upside down ball. Just imagine inside the ball. Let's say the ball inside it's the atmosphere. So the wind is blowing all over the inside ball, but it cannot go beyond the confines of the inside ball, of the upside down ball, upturned ball. So in the same way, the Jeev is thinking himself free, but he can only be freed within the confines of this material world. You follow? So we are forced to stay within the ball, within this material world, within the atmosphere. I don't know if you know that, but as soon as you go beyond 80 kilometers off the surface of the Earth, there's no more air. The air layer is about 80 kilometers, bas, 90 perhaps. And then finish, there's no air, so you die. So the wind is only blowing within that perimeter. But what's become more complicated now is that the sky is inert. It doesn't exist. But in the case of Krishna, even though he has created us, even though we belong to him, 15:7, everyone belongs to me, is a part and parcel of me, is not attached. That's quite amazing because, you know, human beings become attached to each other. So Krishna is not attached. and is not going to interfere with our free will. So this is Achintya Bed Abed, and we discussed last time in 2750. Everything is the Lord, but is indifferent. If someone misuses his free will, Krishna is not going to cry over it. He will not interfere, but you will have to pay the price. Krishna says in 5:15, Nasat, what does he say? 5:15. Forgetting this verse. 5:15. How does it start? Nadati kasachit papam nachevam sukritam vibhuhu. I don't accept your path, Arjun. I don't accept your sukriti. It's up to you. Moshe Prabhu is coming. So then we discuss 51 to 751, that Bhagavatam is a collection of the Lord's vibhutis, excellences. And then in 51, Brahma told Narad, you please expand. Vipuli. Vipuli means to expand. Is he going to expand or not? Narad?
No.
No. Later, already we have seen that in the first canto, he's going to delegate to Vyas. And then
Why will he I mean, I'm not questioning why he did that, but is there any specific reason why he himself didn't do, but that service was delegated to Vyasdev, who
well, you know the answer. As we say en français, on fait une pierre deux coups. With one stone, you can accomplish many things. So exactly what happened is solved out the despondency of Vyasadeva. We remember that Vyasadeva was despondent. He felt unsatisfied. So that was the crack of the matter. He hadn't sufficiently glorified Krishna directly. So Narad came along and confirmed, yes, you neglected the Krishna Katha. So that is why he used that bonus. He had a bonus. He was given this order by Lord Brahma in 2751. But purposefully, he has the right, his guru. Guru can do that. He can delegate to his disciples. He delegated that order in order to edify Vyasadeva and to dispel his despondency. He could have easily done it himself. His Narad is an avatar. It's very powerful. And Vyasadeva is also very powerful. But that's the job. See, and number two, that's the job. Vyasadeva is Chakara Bhagavan Rishihi, is literary incarnation. So he is the one writing, compiling, devising, and even writing. Vyasadeva has written, he has penned 3 books of his own with his own hands. What are those 3 books?
The Vedanta Sutra.
Yeah. It's a bit tricky because Garud Puran explained first Bhagavatam was written before Vedanta Sutra, and Vedanta Sutra was written before Mahabharata. So the way it goes, it's the blueprint of Bhagavatam was written before, yes, but then he left it unfinished. The proof is there in 178. You can look it up, 178. Sutta Goswami explained there that after hearing the Narad Vani, he went back to Srimad Bhagavatam. He revised it. He, how do you say, parachevé en français. Hein? Parachevé means he completed it. And this is the Bhagavatam that we have. The Bhagavatam that we have in our hands is the final shot. Bhagavatam was done in two different intervals. First one, blueprint, very succinct draft paper, we could say. Then Vedanta Sutra was written in the spirit of Srimad Bhagavatam. And then the fifth bed. The fifth bed is Mahabharata. But again, we have seen despondency, Narad came, and then finally Narad left, and then 174. Bhakti Yogena Manasi, Samyak Praniyate Male. He has, in total Bhakti Yoga, with no tinge of materialism, he Apashat Purusham Purnam, he has seen Krishna. In a trance, in a samadhi, he has seen Krishna with all his paraphernalia, the gopis, the gopas. He has seen Maya, who is ashamed. He has seen Avidya Vasta Jiv. He has seen the aggregate of all the jivs who are in Avidya, in sheer ignorance. That is why he's going to compile Bhagavatam. So back to 2752. Brahma is telling Narad, expand on it, 51, and do it in such a way so that these rascals can understand we are the rascals. So we have to be told Bhagavatam so we can understand it. Just like a little boy, you tell a boy, young girl, in such a way they can understand. Otherwise, if you speak too high, they don't understand. So the mood of a speaker is prevailing here in 52. And then 53, we should not neglect Shrishti, Sthiti, Pralaya. All these we may consider these are sub-topics. Oh, it's boring creation, secondary creation. No, it's an offense. On the contrary, 53 explains that for us, we are still contaminated. We should give as important, we should give as much interest as the higher lilas in the 10th canto. We should not neglect the primary topics. And we discussed also Maya. Even if you discuss about Maya, she's a pure devotee, how Maya is subservient to Krishna and how she functions, that's okay. That's part of the Krishna consciousness teachings. It's called Sambandha Gyan, how to function between Krishna, Maya, and the Jiv. The three factors, the three interrelation between the three, Krishna Tattva, Jiv Tattva, and Maya. And then we entered briefly the 8th chapter. Can someone say anything about the 8th chapter? We touched very briefly.
Well, about the 8th chapter, how Parikshit Maharaj is going to, he's going to enter Sukdev Goswami to speak more about Hari Katha, and there will be the description of the qualities of the Lord, and also we'll see Parikshit Maharaj will be eager to know about the transcendental pastimes and also the wonderful potencies of Krishna, which is called Adbhut Virashya. Virash. Yeah.
Mhm.
And also how Parikshit Maharaj is demonstrating us that at the moment he will leave his body, he will be completely immersed in absorption of remembering Krishna, and in this way he will be able to be completely aloof and detached from material entanglements.
Yes, it's a good point. Srila Prabhupada explained in 283. You can see. Can you read the last paragraph of 283? Maharaj Parikshit had
283
the last paragraph.
of the Maharaj Parikshit had already given up all his connections with his kingdom and family, the most attractive features of materialism, but still he was conscious of his material body. He wanted to be free of such bondage also by the constant association of the Lord.
What's interesting, huh? It seems to me, correct me if I'm wrong, that he still has some tiny impurities, if I may say. It was still earlier on. We read that curse kind of precipitated his removal from his post as Chakravarti, his emperor of the whole Jambudvip. So to prevent any further attachment, Lord Krishna enabled him to be cursed by Shringi. So around the age of 60, he left the world.
Yeah, so but is still he this sentence, but is still he was conscious of his material body. Can you describe more, clarify more what particular thing he was attached, or what made
Yeah.
Prabhupada write this?
Yeah, so Vishwanath elaborates on this. 283. Here, this is Vishwanath. Here, Parikshit indicates that his objects of attachment, such as kingdom, have been given up. Whatever attachment is left for the body, he wishes to give it up by concentrating his mind on Krishna. This shows his efforts to remember Krishna. So, according to Vishwanath, and Srila Prabhupada tends to echo, it seems that he's got still a slight attachment for his body.
In
So,
what's
well,
how?
it's mentioned when you are on the level of Jivan Mukta. Jivan Mukta means you are already liberated, but you are still within the body. In other words, he's still conscious, he's got a material body. You cannot say he's got a material body. Actually, Maharaj Parikshit is going to go in his self-same body, just like Arjuna. Prabhupada explained all the Pandavas we discussed in the previous canto. All the Pandavas, the Kunti, the Draupadi, they went back in the self-same bodies. And Prabhupada explained in a letter to Kaushalya in 68 that Arjuna has a material body. But he can, being a Parshada of the Lord, he has unlimited power. He can duplicate himself unlimitedly, much more than the yogi. So here, Maharaj Parikshit has a material body and is going to go back to the spiritual world. So there's, as soon as you get a material body, there's some attachment. So it's called Jivan Mukta. Jivan Mukta. even at the level of Jivan Mukta, you can still fall down due to offense. Maharaj Parikshit obviously is not an offender. On the contrary, he readily accepted the curse, the unfair curse of Shringi. He readily accepted it. He could have easily counterfeited, how do you say, counter it. He didn't. But this is the point, is for the time being, just like his ancestors, the Pandavas, he has a material body. So if you have a material body, you may be very advanced, but there is still this, the body itself is where it's your body is hurting, your body is sick. That's all. Everything is there. Even Prabhupada, you can see Prabhupada had a material body. His spiritual body was, his material body was suffering due to the path of the disciples. In that sense. Okay, so I think we can move on. Have we done 284? 284, I think we did. I remember it's a verse that I know by heart. Let's do it again. Shrinvatam, Shrinvata Shradaya Nityam, Grinata Svacheshtitam, Karinana Titirgana, Bhagavan Vishate, Ridi. You can please read.
Persons who hear Srimad Bhagavatam regularly and always taking the matter very seriously will have the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, manifested in their heart within a short time. So we should study, we should have BV class every day, Prabhu.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a warning given in 4. What is the warning?
Well, the tendency will be the people can try to become greedy spiritually, especially very neophyte devotee. They will try to externally hear Srimad Bhagavatam with this motive that they will see Krishna face to face. But that becomes I mean, it's kind of a subtle impurity or not a proper consciousness.
Yeah, in other words, they're not doing the needful to get purified. See, because if you look at 4, it says Grinatas cha svasheshtitam. Grinata means you're taking the matter svasheshtitam very seriously. Let's say you're taking an exam, you are very serious, you are brushing up your exam, crashing the course. So you take the matter very seriously. If you don't take the matter very seriously, it's not going to work. See, there is some strings attached in 4. What are the strings? Nitya, regularly, daily, practically, and then taking the matter very seriously. And these people are just going to reciters. They don't take it very seriously. They don't try to refine, to reform their daily lives, purify their habits and stuff. So it's not going to work. So that personal application for us, it's not a mechanical process, oh, I'm hearing Bhagavatam, everything's going to happen on its own. You still need to do the needful to purify yourself. Otherwise, it's not going to work. This is the point. In other words, if you don't detach yourself from the material world, it's not going to work. Nivrita tarsher upagiya manash bavo shoda shrotamano biramat. This is 10.1.4. Maharaj Parikshit, 10.1.4. Nivrita tarsher upagiya manat. Nivrita. You have to be, Nivrita means detached from this material world. Then only you can glorify the spiritual world. You cannot get it both ways. You cannot glorify the material world and also the spiritual world. It's not going to work. Nivrita Tarsher Upagi Yamanat Bavo Shada.
But Prabhu, if you glorify the material world in connection with Krishna, like
Yeah, we discussed
I've
today.
been
Yeah. It's okay if you discuss about the intricacies of Maya, how Maya. Prabhupada said we should discuss about the downside of Maya, how she can trap us. Yes, it's very healthy. We should have a pessimistic outlook, Prabhupada said, towards the material world. We are just like we are doing the needful, but inside we are detached. You know, just like the Christians say, strive for the best, expect the worst. It's a nice saying. You know, you strive for the best, but at the same time, you know, deep inside that the very nature of the natural world is ugly. Papa used to say the very mask of nature is ugly. Prabhupada has quite a pessimistic outlook towards Devidam. That's needed if you want to break free. You cannot, you know, in private glorify the material world and expect that you're going to hold yourself in the spiritual world if you're still somewhat attached to this Devidam. So then 284, it's the process of hearing is shown here. And by that part, one begins to chant. If you hear Bhagavatam, automatically you're going to chant. You're going to be quite serious in your chanting. It goes hand in hand. So Vishwanath explained that if you hear and chant, automatically you don't have to strenuously strive to remember, because it follows one after the other. Shrinvatam, what is that verse? Shrinvatam, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam. One kicks in the other. Kramya is called Kramya. Kramya means in sequence, you know. You hear, you chant, you remember. And then what's going to happen? 4, Kalena Natir Dirganam. In no time, Bhagavan, not Paramatma is already there, even in the dark. But Bhagavan spontaneously enter. Vishate Riddhi. So it's no more Paramatma, it's Bhagavan. This is the point. Pravishta Karna Randrena Svanam Bhav Saruruham Dunoti Shamalam Krishna Shalilasya Yatha Sharat. This is 5, huh? Are you there? I think I lost you.
So
No,
I'm
Prabhu,
reading, I'm sorry.
I can hear. Yeah.
So would you like to read Mushikar?
No, you read because I'm at work.
The sound incarnation of Lord Krishna, the supreme soul that is Srimad Bhagavatam, enters into the heart of a self-realized devotee, sits on the lotus flower of his loving relationship, and thus cleanses the dust of material associations such as lust, anger, and hankering. Thus, it acts like autumnal rains upon pools of muddy water.
Yeah, please explain. It's a nice analogy. Eh?
So here Prabhupada is explaining how explaining the position of a pure devotee, especially uh, the ability of a pure devotee. Like even Prabhupada would say sometimes, if only one devotee, one soul takes this movement seriously, he can have the ability to deliver the whole world. And I would like to share something. I don't know who shared that with me, but there was a question to Prabhupada. What if ISKCON is completely, destroyed? ISKCON is no more, it's non-existent. Then Prabhupada said that even one soul who will read my books, he can, it is so powerful that single-handedly, he can re-establish the movement or
Mm.
give Krishna consciousness to the whole world again. To that, is that
It,
anything you want?
I never heard, but it makes a lot of sense to me. I fully accept. These books were not written by
Yeah.
Prabhupada. They were
So
Prabhupada said, Lord Krishna dictated to me. So please explain the autumnal rain. It's beautiful, huh? Very poetic. How do you understand this analogy, the autumnal rains? You have seen in India, huh, the autumn. It's called Swarat. Did you notice in India during Swarat season what happened? Everyone is gone today.
I will have to leave now, Prabhu. Yeah,
Okay,
sorry.
okay, I understand. So can you explain that in Ishtar? Okay, let's.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, I
Hare
lost
Krishna.
you. Okay.
Yeah. So as in Prabhupada's purport, it's explained how when there is when there is rainy season, extreme rain, when there is rain, what happens? The rivers, especially, we can see they become muddy,
Yeah.
and but the same rain which happens in autumn, which is not heavy rain but slight rain, that same that autumnal rain has the ability uh, to make the water clear
Yes.
of the rivers. So similarly, it's mentioned how uh, the world, I mean, how the heart, there's so much dirt in the heart,
Yes.
and there is many ways people think of they are going to try to get get rid of that dirt in the heart, but in j- just the devotional service is considered as the autumnal rain,
Yes.
which has the power to cleanse the heart of people in general.
Yes,
And
exactly. Otherwise, it's compared to the action of Gyan and Yoga. You may have, let's say, a small reservoir water. And if you put some chemical substance, you may purify that jar or that reservoir. So in the same way, Gyan Yoga may purify some people, but not everyone. The only way to purify everyone is Bhakti Yoga. So in 285, Bhav, can you see Bhav Saroruham? Bhav Saroruham. So Vishwanath explained Krishna enters in the form of Krishna Katha unto the lotus of the heart. Bhav Saroruham. It's beautiful. In other words, just like we discussed way back, 113, Nigama kalpatalo garitam phalam shukamukadaritad rasamutam pibata bhagavatam rasamalayam muhura ho rasika. This Bhagavatam is meant for Rasika Bhakt, self-realized souls. It's not meant for us, actually. Only because Shuk touched it with his beak, parrot-like beak, it got even more tasty. So in the same way, because Prabhupada touched it with his very deep realizations, and by his grace, we were able to access to it. Otherwise, any other path of spiritual practice will not do the job. It may purify in one reservoir water, but it will not purify everyone. So the more advanced you are, the more Krishna in the form of Krishna Gata will enter your heart. Because Paramatma, we know, Paramatma is neutral. Samoham Savabhuteshu Namedveshosti Priyaha 929. I hate no one, I love no one, I'm neutral. See? But here, what happened is Krishna enters, not Paramatma. Paramatma is already there, even in the heart of a snail. So Krishna enters through the ears and he attaches the jiv to himself in proportion to his purity. So bhav means dasya bhav, sakya bhav, or else it can mean all the various sentiments you may have for Krishna. It means bhav. Bhav means love, emotions. And then shamalam is beautiful. Shamalam means, removal of lust and whatnot. Just like Srinvatam, what is that verse? 1 to 16, 1 to 17. Srinvatam Svakata
Krishna.
Kirtanaha Vedantya Stoya Bhadrani Vidunuti Surit Satam. Everything is practically removed to nil. So we should never compare Gyan and Yoga. Gyan and Yoga can purify a few individuals, but not all. Vishwanath explained that point very nicely. So then 6, Dotatma, Purusha Krishna Pada Mulam Na Munchanti Mukta Sava Pariklesha
A pure devotee of the Lord whose heart has once been cleansed by the process of devotional service never relinquishes the lotus feet of Krishna, for they fully satisfy him as a traveler is satisfied at home after a troubled journey.
Yeah, again, beautiful analogy. It's very Brahma is very, is Adi Kavi, Adi Kavaye is a very poetic person. Adi Kavi. is the greatest Kavi. Kavi means poets. So you can see the similes of Brahma, beautiful, extremely poetic. Can you explain this analogy?
Mm. Well, the analogy of the traveler is uh, it's the traveler is compared to the soul, and the home is, I mean, back home, back to Krishna. So as long as the jiva is in the cycle of birth and death, traveling here and there in interplanetary, and as long as he's doing that, he's always troubled. And we can see that Prabhupada is mentioning in the purport that what is the power of devotional service. The moment a devotee's heart is cleansed, he will never be able to give up devotional service, just like Jagai Madai. Once they tasted the nectar of devotional service, and even Lord Jesus Christ, they were ready, like Jagai Madai. They were at the ghat after they were delivered by Lord Nityananda, and they were ready to bear all the uh, mistreatment of people. Still, they carry on doing service. And as we see Jesus Christ, even he wouldn't stop preaching when he was crucified. So when a devotee has tasted the nectar of pure devotional service,
Exactly. It's mentioned by Prabhupada. Are you still there? I think I lost you again. Huh? Are you back, or sometimes I can see you are disconnected? Yeah. I don't even know if you are there, so should I speak or not? Pranishta, I think I lost you.